This training video is brought to you by K-Alliance. K-Alliance provides high-quality instructor-led training videos for desktop, IT, and soft skills. Visit us online at www.kalliance.com to sign up for your free 7-day trial. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, and we hope you learned something new. Real videos, real learning, real success.
In this demonstration, we're going to look at the process of configuring NTFS permissions. As we've talked about, NTFS is the file system that is recommended on Windows 8, and it supports the use of access control list, which allow us to determine the authorization status of users and groups as they're trying to access files and folders. And so we want to take a look at how to modify and work with those permissions. So let's go to our virtual drive here, and we're going to create a folder called Sales. The Sales folder created there at the root of the drive. When I go to Properties and Security, we'll notice that it already inherits the permissions from the root directory. So there are default permissions on every drive. Those permissions will be inherited by the folders and the files within that drive. That typically is just giving, unless it's changed, it's just giving the local users group read and execute permissions. The authenticated users group looks like it's been given extra permissions, additional permissions here of modify and write, and then administrators gets full control. Okay, and again, the same is going to be true for other drives that you have. Authenticated users here. I mean, it might differ a little, and see, actually, that's one that's been changed. Authenticated users group would have at least had the read permission, so that's something that has been modified. So anyway, permissions that are inherited from the parent will always be grayed out. Okay, now you can click on it. Click on Edit to attempt to change those, but they are unable to be changed. All right, I cannot add or I cannot modify those because they are being inherited from the parent object. And before we do that, let's add in some additional permissions. And so notice I can look in the local machine and I can look in the domain. Let's just add the sales group in. And so we're going to say if you're a member of the sales group, then you're going to get the modify and write permissions. Okay? At that point, we want to remove authenticated users. We don't want to deny, because authenticated users is everybody. And so we need to remove them from the list. Only sales and admin should have permissions. In order to do that, we're going to have to clear inheritance. So we're going to go into the Advanced button, and we are going to click on Disable Inheritance here. Disable Inheritance, and it asks me what I would like to do. Would I like to convert the inherited permissions into explicit permissions or just remove them? And so the vast majority of the time I'm going to convert the inherited permissions. The wording there has gotten much, much better than in previous versions. So now it's not inherited from anybody. And now I can just remove or edit if I maybe only wanted them to have read-only. But no, I'm going to remove authenticated users and the users group so that only sales and admins have rights on this sales folder. Okay? Click OK, and then those changes are now made. Now notice as you add, when you click Edit here, you're just seeing the standard NTFS permissions. Right? Full control, modify, read, write, those things we talked about. When we click on Advanced, if I were to add someone in here, I would actually be seeing the advanced permissions. So let's just do this this way just so we can see it. I'm not sure if I have a sales managers. No, okay. Let's get rid of that. Just managers. So the managers group, we are going to allow access. It's going to apply to this folder, subfolder, and files. And we are going to grant them modify permissions as well. All right, and that's the basic. If you want to show advanced, then you click that, and then I'll have my full list. Now your best bet is really to click, what the basic permission is, and then see, okay, how does that correlate with the advanced permissions? Your dynamic or your advanced data access, the conditional access can be done here. You can add a condition. It's a user or device condition. The group, they're a member of each, or not a member of any, or not, those different things. And so we can add individual items and it would just be much more flexible. And so I believe the example I used was, giving somebody rights only if they were a member of both the research development group and the marketing group. Something like that. Oops, well, I meant to add them in, but really wanted to just see that screen. That is in the Advanced tab where you would go to configure that advanced data access, right? If you need to see the permissions that someone has, you can use the Effective Access tab. You can do this based on user or group or device. And so we can add in an individual, just say Adam Barr, and view effective access, and it shows me that individual's effective access, which apparently is none, okay, because he must not be a member of the sales group or the admins group. Add in the administrator, click view effective access, and everything goes to green check marks. Okay. Add in a group. So if you're a member of the sales group, view the effective access. Well, then it changes. They don't have full control. They can't delete subfolders and files because that's limited by file permissions. And so, but they have everything else. Okay, so it's a quick way to determine what are the effective NTFS permissions. Just realize that is only going to consider the NTFS permissions. It's not considering anything else. So there you have it, the access control list that exists on files and folders everywhere throughout the Windows 8 operating system because of the NTFS file system. And this has been to essentially just show you the way in which you could go in and manipulate those access control lists.
We hope you enjoyed this preview video. Please click on the like button below if you did, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to visit us at www.kalliance.com to sign up for your free 7-day trial today. You could learn a lot in a week.